What if I told you the $100 bill in your pocket isn't actually real in the way you think it is? And what if I told you there are four completely different types of money, each one shaping how wealth is created, transferred, and even controlled? Most people only ever learn about one. But the wealthy? They understand all four, and more importantly, how to use each one strategically. Today, we're breaking down the four types of money, which are fiat money, commodity money, commercial bank money, and fiduciary money. And by the end of this video, you'll not only understand them, you'll know how to use them to build wealth. Let's start at the beginning. Before money even existed, we had what is iconically known as the barter system. Before dollars, before banks, Americans and early societies relied on this system. Instead of money, people traded goods directly. We traded things like wheat for tools, livestock for clothing, and labor for food. This system worked, but it had a big problem. What if the person you're trading with doesn't want what you have? That's where commodity money comes in. Commodity money is money that has intrinsic value. It's valuable on its own, and not just because people agree it is. Some great examples are gold, silver, oil, and tobacco, which was actually used in early American colonies. Gold especially became dominant because it was durable, divisible, rare, and universally desired. So the question you might have is, how do you build wealth with commodity money? To put it simply, commodity money is about store of value. When inflation rises or currencies weaken, commodities like gold often hold or increase their value. So a good wealth strategy is to own physical assets like gold, silver, and even land. You then want to use them as a hedge against inflation. The idea is to think long-term preservation, not quick gains. This is why even today, central banks still hold massive gold reserves. Gold will always be a commodity that is highly valued. Now let's talk about the money you use every day, fiat money. Fiat money has no intrinsic value. And yes, that $100 bill in your pocket is theoretically worthless because it's not backed by gold or any physical commodity. It only has value because the government says it does, and because people trust it. The US dollar is the most powerful example, but here's where things get interesting. Up until 1971, the US dollar was tied to gold under the Bretton Woods Agreement. That meant you could technically exchange dollars for gold. This was a time when paper money truly had value. But then, President Richard Nixon made a historic decision. He decided to end the gold standard. But why? It was because the US was running out of gold. Countries were exchanging dollars for gold faster than the US could supply it, especially due to the Vietnam War spending, expanding government programs, and more. Prominently, global demand for US dollars. If the system continued, the US risked losing its gold reserves entirely. So Nixon closed the gold window. He acted to protect the US from going bankrupt and turned the dollar into pure fiat money. Most historians might call this one of the biggest chess moves in economic history. From that moment on, money became flexible, expandable, and more importantly, inflation-prone. So how do you build wealth with fiat money? First, you have to understand that fiat money is best used for cash flow, investing, and leveraging opportunities. A good strategy is to deploy it and not just hold on to it or keep it stored in a savings account earning little to no interest. You can use fiat money to invest in assets like stocks, real estate, and even a business. You always want to use inflation to your advantage by owning appreciating assets. Fiat loses value over time, so the key is to convert it into things that don't. Now let's move to a type of money most people don't even realize exists: commercial bank money. This is the digital money in your bank account. Here's the shocking part. Most of the money in the economy isn't printed. It's created by banks. When you deposit money into a bank, they don't just store it, they lend it out. And through a system called fractional reserve banking, banks can lend more money than they actually have in reserves. This creates new money in the system. So when you see your checking account balance and your savings account, that's commercial bank money. It's essentially a digital claim and not physical cash. A great way to build wealth with commercial bank money is by using leverage. Using leverage is a very popular wealth building strategy. You can use loans to acquire appreciating assets like real estate investments, business expansion, and strategic borrowing for more complex investing. Always remember, the wealthy don't fear debt. They use it intelligently. They borrow at low interest rates and invest in assets that generate higher returns. That's how money multiplies. Finally, we have fiduciary money. This is money that is accepted based on trust, but is not legal tender issued directly by a government. Examples of fiduciary money include checks, promissory notes, and certain types of credit instruments. Fiduciary money works because people trust that it can be converted into fiat money later. Think of it like a promise or an IOU. This type of money is all about agreements, contracts, and financial instruments. Many investors use fiduciary money when they want to get creative with financing. When using fiduciary money, you want to use it wisely and strategically so that you can build strong financial credibility. A good example would be when business owners use lines of credit, or when investors use margin accounts. In fact, many entrepreneurs use financing agreements, and trust ultimately becomes a financial asset. So here's the big picture. The 4 types of money aren't just concepts, they're tools. Commodity money preserves wealth. Fiat money moves wealth. Commercial bank money multiplies wealth. Fiduciary money leverages trust to expand wealth. Most people only use one. But the financially educated, they understand how all 4 interact, and they position themselves accordingly. If you want to build real wealth, don't just earn money. Learn what kind of money you're using, and more importantly, how to use it strategically. Because once you understand money at this level, you stop working for it and start making it work for you. If you found value in this video, let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.